What is up, party people? Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers Daily World Cup edition. And it's a big happy birthday to America. 250 years on, and we're still kicking some way, somehow. And of course, we were hoping that the Cape Verdeans would still be kicking some way, somehow after what was for me, the game of the tournament, containing the goal of the tournament. Big up Lopes Cabral with an absolute screamer. That's definitely, I don't know if anything's going to beat that as far as when it came, what it meant, what a goal. Absolutely love it. Scenes, of course. But of course, the Pharaohs have made it through as well in, for me, what was a soul crushing defeat for the Australians. Henry Suter with the miss after an incredible game. Feels really bad. But yeah, Pharaohs through on that one. I guess doesn't feel bad for old Mo Salah. Mom says the entire Cape Verde team are heroes. That is for sure. And of course, Colombia are through in what was a let's just say it did not live up to the hype that the Cape Verde Argentina game created.
Jake, I
Yeah.
think with Ghana, you knew that was going to be a stinker.
We definitely knew it was. We got a Asif and Nez in the building, as always. Of course. How we doing, gents?
I'm good. Nez is deep in contemplation.
Deep in contemplation, absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and get 250 likes for America's 250th birthday. Hell, why don't we add 250 more subscribers to that as well? Make sure you're sharing it across the socials, notification bells, like and subscribe, and all that good stuff right out the rip. I think, yeah, we'll just take it right in chronological order. Man, I hate penalties. Just going to throw that out there. I really don't like penalties because Suter, the giant for Australia, after an incredible game, 9,700 different clearances. He was getting involved in the attack. He was doing all kinds of stuff. And then, like, just to start the penalty shootout with the Harry Kane moment is just.
It's a very similar thing to what happened with Tar, and he should have had that goal, and then he missed the penalty. I think it's not the exact same thing, but it's something similar. And he played well. Australians did well. I thought when Egypt were ahead, I thought they probably more or less they were doing well till about the 60th or 70th minute when Australians then started, got that goal. But I thought, no, all credit to the Egyptians. That showed a lot of mental fortitude to go, do it in front, go, get pegged back, but still win on penalties. And no one was expecting Australia to even get this far, so I think that's a pretty good tournament for them. They will be disappointed because obviously penalties is a lottery. But on the overall kind of things, like most people were even expecting them to get this far. So that's just my personal opinion.
Hey, Mom, we got Mike tuned in as well this morning. What's up, Mike? Hope everybody's doing well down there. Maybe get Papa Mac in there too. See if he wants to listen. My grandpa's down there with them as well. We got the fam tuned in. Of course, big up Egypt as well. That was their first knockout win in the World Cup. And it's kind of weird to say that because don't they have the record for most AFCONs? So it's not like they're inexperienced as a nation in tournaments. But for them to get their first win, that's big.
The level of AFCON, if you look at it, all the winners or people who've done finalists, for example, Morocco, Senegal, they've done really well this tournament. So I think the level of AFCON has actually gone up. And obviously, with Egypt had a couple of issues before. At the time, I don't know if you saw this. I saw a video of the one of the directors of the Egypt national team getting into nearly a scrap with this a US security guy.
Oh no!
They were pushing each other and everything, and they had to because they wouldn't let him do. I don't know. That was one of their security details as well. And they were
wow.
So that was a thing. But yeah, I thought they did really well, and all credit to them. I think they probably get next. And I'm just gonna be straight shooting. I'll tell you how it is, Jake. They'll probably get knocked out in the next round. With Argentina, most likely. I'm not saying it's impossible, but most likely. With Argentina, they don't care if, like, as you saw with the Cape Verde thing, they don't care if you're well liked. They'll still down you. So,
Right. Absolutely.
Even though there was some question, we'll get onto that, but there was some questionable refereeing decisions.
Yeah.
I think Salah wasn't at his best.
He did turn it on in the last 10 minutes of the game, though. He did kind of look like he was like, all right, this is my moment.
Yeah, but he's not the most Salah award. Let's put it that way, Jake.
Hey, that's fair.
And I'm a Liverpool supporter. I've seen him do a lot better than that. So
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, all credit to him. I think Egypt, to get this far.
I guess StreamYard didn't like what he was saying about Egypt. I guess StreamYard didn't like that comment that Argentina were going to beat him. Well, while he's buffering, what are you saying, Nez?
Oh, just focusing on the Egypt Australia game. I think Assis' point about like the finalists is important.
You're coming in and out, man.
So I think his point about the finalists is important, but I also think is a very important thing to recognize that if anybody watched AFCON, this last AFCON and the one before, the tournament was good. It wasn't good by accident, right? So like people are recognizing that there's quality there, and then if you look at the European nations, specifically in their leagues, but also in the Champions League, the players from AFCON nations play in those top teams, and they're clearly good. I mean, obviously, the running joke is that France is an extra African team, since basically the whole team is from the continent. And I think it's important to understand that while a lot of these players who play in the African nation, that they play, a lot of them play in the leagues in Africa. So it's actually starting to account for maybe there should be more attention paid to that. It's something that MLS should pay attention to, which means that we can raise the levels of CONCACAF and what's happening at the tournament to say, okay, well, can our champions represent in the same way? Now, currently, the U.S., the CONCACAF champions are looking good, as they are in the stages here too. So it means that those continental cups are being represented well. But I think it's something to take home that Egypt found their way, and finding their way, they recognize, and I think specifically in this tournament because of how emotional many of them are. I got a buddy who's Egyptian, and he said he was sweating it out. Is that they recognize that they're sort of in, even though it's sort of a mismatched team in far as age. This is kind of the golden generation doing their swan song, which is the greatest red flag for the United States to pay attention to when teams are in their golden generations is fading out, and what they're willing to do as they go out when they face Belgium. But I think in this case, Mo Salah, the fact that he had the gas in the end tells you everything. It tells you everything. But it also tells you that, that means that he's going to be, and I know I'll refer to Leonidas later for the next game, but Mo Salah might have his Leonidas moment against Argentina when they play them next, because I think he and Marmoush, they're just going to leave it on the line. And it was very funny because, and after the game in the interview, they went to Mo Salah, and again, very cheeky in his penalty, very, very cheeky, because they asked him about that. They said, well, how do you feel about this will be the first time that Messi has played Salah, because, for the longest, Salah was called the Egyptian Messi. And this is the first time they'll play internationally, which he acknowledged, and he paused them. He said, wait, I think you need to pay attention to Cape Verde before you give Argentina directly to us. So I think that the fact that he said that recognized that this tournament is literally a one-off. And a lot of commentators are talking about how some of these games looking like finals, specifically the next one we'll talk about. And I think that's really major to understand that teams really know specifically in this stage, this is it, man. This is it. There's no parking the bus. There's no anything. So Australia being devastated the way they were is because this was their final. Egypt crying and being excited the way they were, this was their final. And they understand that now, yes, it's very, very, I mean, the odds in the Hunger Games sense, since we're just going through movies, in the Hunger Games sense, may the odds be in their favor, but, it looks like, the juggernauts will juggernaut. But in the same breath, you have to understand that Egypt did what they need to do. And real-time technology, like we talked about yesterday, really played a giant role in this. Because when Australia subbed the keeper, and we've seen the meme where they got the keeper staring at the starting keeper staring at the coach on the plane, like, yeah, you took me off for this. He the specialist and he lost. It's very similar to what happened with Kempa and Chelsea and they lost. You know what? Taking the keeper off during the game is silly. But with that being said, they studied the keeper. They the video showed it. It showed them watching the keeper play against Madrid, and they read all of his tells. And they scored every one of their penalties against him. So hey, man, while the penalty shootout is a crapshoot, hey man, if I got a little bit of cheating in here, like I'm Ocean's 11, because I'm staying with my movie theme, and I can cheat through a little bit and see what your tells are, I'm gonna use those. So congratulations to Egypt, as they are the one of the last two African nations to go forward. And Australia, I think, was the last Asian nation to be eliminated. So respect to them and the continental confederations that brought teams here. And hey, man, I'm looking forward to the next one. When is that game? Tuesday? When do they play? Thursday? I don't know when they play.
Which one?
The Egypt-Argentina game. I don't know when that is. Do you know when that is?
It's 3 days from now.
Okay. And now I just see they're playing inside, which I think matters because Egypt just played inside and they're playing in Atlanta. That matters. Anybody who's saying that doesn't matter, that matters. I'm done.
That matters a lot. Look at the way they were just absolutely sweating.
After reviewing yesterday's game, we'll get to conditions about the other matches getting forward. I have something to say about that, but
hey, man, write it down. Don't forget it.
I'm holding fire. Please do not talk about Leonidas and Spears and all that kind of stuff because that's giving me I'm getting sidetracked.
This guy. Okay.
Oh my God.
I don't want to introduce it too soon, Nez. So please.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Let's just. Wow. I was gonna say something that I probably shouldn't. Never mind.
I got nothing, man.
Yeah. Let's keep it PG.
Congratulations to Egypt for continuing, and Australia, respect to them for fighting through.
Absolutely, and definitely, it's good. In one sense, you definitely want to see, for the spirit of game, you want to see the underdogs. You want to see them giving it everything. You want to see them definitely, putting in a shift and making teams work. But you also, conversely, want to see the legends of the game that we've all watched for so long and enjoyed watching. You want to see these guys do well. I got nothing against Mo Salah. I think he's an absolute legend and, deserves a little bit of success in the World Cup. And, they get making history. This whole tournament's making history. It's beautiful stuff.
I was reading something the other day about when Mo Salah came to sign for Liverpool, Islamophobic attacks in and around the Liverpool, that kind of area. Yeah, the Lancashire area actually went down.
Yeah, they went down
after he signed.
They went down. Yeah,
that's awesome. No, that's really cool.
It's the equivalent of the Knicks winning the title and crime in New York going down.
There you go.
But he's right. He's very right. But a quick soapbox thing is you said something, Jake, that kind of compelled the thought because I'm a believer that thoughts are given to you. And so you said something about this World Cup has been great. And my mind said, hey, even with the corruption that created this thing, right? Because we're not going to pretend about the corruption that created this thing. The corruption that created this thing has consistently shown game over game, over game, that we as people can absolutely get over those people, those that small 1%, and it's not even 1%, that we can get over the small 0.1% of people who are corrupt and awful and are people but forget we're people. And so as long as people kind of understand that, hey, especially celebrating the 4th of July right here, boom, right? You understand that this tournament has really showed that we really can get over the stuff that they're putting out there. So while the term fake news was created and used to kind of like propagate a bunch of different things, it's a real thing, because we really have to start looking at stuff and assuming, hey man, if they're saying something negative about those people, is it really right? Are we really supposed to hate on those people? The people we don't understand, people that we don't know nothing about. But we'll get to, I mean, we know about Australia and Egypt because the pharaohs are the pharaohs. But when we get to Cape Verde, people don't know nothing about that place, but I bet they do now. And that means that all we need is exposure and a willingness to understand and to believe, hey, those people that we don't know about, that have been put in front of our faces for some reason in this world where information overload exists, take a minute when you get to know, hey, this new thing, and maybe try to understand and learn them and look for the best in them. Because even though Cape Verde lost, we'll talk about them.
No, segues are really weird. I thought Cape Verde in this tournament did everything and more that they possibly can to introduce themselves to the world. They've come to the world stage, the world's biggest game, in front of the entire globe, and you can't say that. Heads held high, guys. Absolute heads in the air, because what a performance, man. This is what this tournament is all about. This is why I love this game so much, because and let's have it right. Argentina were arrogant. Let's have it right. They came to the field. It's Miami. It's a home game for old Leo Messi. There's 97% Albi Celeste in the stands. Cape Verde's got like one little corner of the stadium, and Cape Verde said, hold my beer, because these guys aren't taking it seriously, and they damn near got dealt with. And I think it's absolutely a beautiful thing that when anybody, and I've been arguing with one of my buddies about the fact that I think France are just going to steamroll this tournament. Any given day, man, if you show up and you don't take them seriously, they can slap you right in the mouth. And that's what Cape Verde did, man. Argentina were not taking it seriously, and they almost effed around and found out. You know what I'm saying? And so any other team, like for example, France played Paraguay today. I do think France have too much for literally everyone, but if you F around, you might just find out like Germany did. You know what I'm saying? And I think Argentina tried to do that, but I don't really want to make this about Argentina, because I think that you have to look at those guys, those 11 guys, 18 guys, however many, and say, man, well done, just well done, absolute beautiful scenes. And I have to give it up to Lopes Cabral, man. I don't know if anybody's going to score a better goal in this tournament. Maybe in isolation, if you just look at each goal in isolation, okay, maybe, because Mbappe scored a couple bangers, right? But if you add in the context of that goal, if you add in the context of that goal to equalize in overtime versus that opponent, best goal of the tournament. I don't know that that's going to get beat.
I don't know if you catch the first goal from Argentina with that pass to Messi and that control.
Oh, gorgeous! That was a hell of a goal. Great goal. Yeah,
the goalkeeper Zinho thought he was gonna go to the side when he just went over him instead. I thought that was a beautiful goal as well. Just the pass, the technique.
Absolutely was.
And obviously the second goal for Cape Verde.
The commentators just do my head in, because it's all Messi glazing. It's just glaze Messi, glaze Messi, glaze Messi, glaze Messi. Messi's this, Messi's that. Oh my God, Messi should have scored all this crap. It really grates my nerves.
Arrogance, I mentioned it before the pod, and then the fans, the Argentinian fans were like throwing stuff at the Cape Verde fans, and those guys from what I've seen on TV and what I've seen on social media, they just cheer for their own country. They keep, they don't mess around with other countries, etc. And there's no need for it. There's no need to do that to them. And they're a very small country. That they're not even the size of Buenos Aires, basically the population. So
it's 500,000. The population is 500,000.
And they're doing that kind of stuff. I think that was I thought that was disgraceful to the fans who actually there was no need to do that. And just because they scored a goal, and but credit to the Argentinians, they've when it comes to tournament football, they've got the history, they've got the mentality, they can pull it out. So they did when it came to them. But the story, I'm so unfortunately won't be seeing Cape Verde again. I thought they were one of the most entertaining teams in the tournament. They're ones that you think, oh no, they're dead now, and they always come back. They were like,
That's what was interesting to me is every time Argentina scored and went ahead, they sat off a little bit. Again, arrogant, because every time Argentina scored, even after the third goal, Cape Verde came at them, and there was a period in the game where they were the better team, where they were putting on the impetus, where they were creating chances. Yeah, absolutely, man. And I think that SC is mentioning something about the USA team. Of course, he thinks there's a 5% chance of us winning the tournament. But what he's saying at the end here, USA is potentially top 10, and it's going to inspire the next generation. The next generation of Cape Verdeans are going to be inspired by this, 100%, And yes, it was indeed incredible scenes.
The Paraguayans as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Focusing on the
tournament's all about.
Because focusing on the Cape Verdeans and the thing you just said, and I'll go backwards, that the next generations of Cape Verdeans will be inspired. Well, after Cabral scored his goal, and then he ran into the stands to find his girl, and then the world was like, oh, there's going to be a generations coming. In 9 months, there's going to be a lot of new Cape Verdeans out there, so the population might be 1 million by the time, we get to the next year. Because, hey, man,
I think you're confusing Cape Verde with Mexico, man.
I am not confusing Cape Verde with anything. I'm talking about this man scored a banger, and he went to the crowd and stood there and waited until she came. Hey, man. And then the camera was like, hey, even though she looked like she didn't want to be on camera. And she's like, hey, and everybody's like, oh, I got you, sir. We understand why you went in the crowd. We understand.
Yeah.
And so we look here and we say, first, we got to give Cape Verde even more credit because Argentina, while they sat off, they didn't play poorly. They didn't play poorly at all because the end narrative as the game becomes history to us is, well, man, Argentina must have played bad. Pause. That's not true at all. False. Because again, Messi's first goal, absolutely beautiful goal. Beautiful goal. And funny thing is, the keeper got beat both. In the first 2 goals, he got beat the exact same way, same side. And every goal Argentina scored was a good goal. Everyone they scored was a good goal. So it took quality from them to win the game. And Cape Verde had plenty of chances where they could have came through. There was a couple of shots. I'm like, why are you doing that? So we got to give Dibu Martinez credit too because he had to make some saves. And the thing that I think that's even more powerful and connected to it is while Argentina was arrogant, you saw after the arrogance went away and reality hit, they were tired. So even if they wanted to sum it up, hey, we're about to do this thing, they have legs. Literally everybody was hitting the ground. These weren't fake injuries. These guys were tired. And so what it says, and I think the dude from ESPN said it, he said, hey man, if teams just play this tournament like it's the last game and you don't sit back, hey, man, if you go out 6-0, you went out 6-0, but at least you went out shooting. I think it's better just to go out that way. Cape Verde said, hey, nobody believed in us. We're not going to do this, and we're going to just go at it. And they didn't low block. They was like, hey, let's go do this thing. And to your point, at the end, they had chances where they could have equalized and it went to penalties. And we already know if it goes to penalties, as we talked about in the first game, that's anybody's guess because we already know, and we're saying this, the chink in Messi's armor that is real is penalty taking. He's not a great penalty taker, which is kind of amazing for a guy who scores the way he does. But he's not a great penalty taker. But I think that's connected more to pressure than his ability. But also, the thing is going forward, this actually should inspire Egypt to just be open. Hey, man, let's just play open. This should inspire the United States. Let's just be open. Look at Canada, Mexico. Hey, let's just if anybody, and I know this shouldn't really connect, and I keep breadcrumbing ways for Asif to get there. England should play open. Hey, man, you're going into the pit.
Please don't.
No, I'm not going there yet. They're going into the pit. Hey, man, just be open.
I'm trying not to go there.
Just be open. Even though technically I'm kind of confused on where you would go there because they don't play next, so you have to find a way to throw it in there because it's not really segue.
I will throw it in there after the game summaries. I am
all
throwing
right.
it in there.
Well, congratulations to Cape Verde and their new population boom that will follow this and the next generation of players.
Oh, please, Des, come on, man. You're killing me.
What you mean?
Oh, man, it's beautiful. It's definitely beautiful stuff. I think that, I'm wondering what guys are going to get moves for Cape Verde because that goal.
Question, like the keeper. So he's 41, and people
Chelsea's probably already called. Chelsea's probably already called him.
That was the joke. That was a joke on ESPN. But here's the funny thing. First of all, keepers have a different sort of shelf life because keepers don't need to be crazy athletic. So he probably has like 2 years where he could probably play for like a top European team, like maybe like a mid to lower table Premier League team. He could play in the Bundesliga, right? I think he could play in La Liga just due to the pace of the game, because you just need him to be athletic. So if Manuel Neuer, who's only retiring from international football, who's also 40, can still play and start, and he's going to start if it's not Bayern somewhere, then this guy can do it.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. And like you said, both the goals, Argentina's first 2 goals were smashed into the near post corner. It's very good goals, I'm not going to necessarily say anything about old Cuti Romero getting the game winner. You know what I feel about Spurs players, but I mean,
own goal. Just because it did.
Actually, you're right. It was an own goal. It ended up being an own goal
because it hit off of him and then it hit the defender, which is why the keeper couldn't read it. That's actually why the keeper couldn't read the ball either.
Mr. 420, hope you're well. He says, Azteca smash Teca, altitude, attitude, absolutely smash Mexico. He hopes so.
Let's see if they just keep landing up there. You might as well just go.
They keep tossing softball up to you, bro.
First of all, Liz, my father heard you, so he thought I was speaking to you. That's why he came in.
Well, tell your dad I said what's up, man.
Yeah, and I've been trying to keep this as a segue later on, but since you guys have been asking for it, I'm gonna say, when you're talking about altitude, I was reading yesterday about some of the precautions that the English players will be taking. And one of them is taking the blue pills, the Viagra. Apparently, it helps play in altitude. So the players might not be the only things that are standing to attention when the national anthem comes on. So, and those guys better have the cups on or whatever. You know what I mean? Because if you're going for those balls, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say in that regard. Cue jokes, but yes, so it's going to be a very hard game, so to speak.
Well, the funny thing is, did you see the thing about the offsides? They were talking about the offsides with the shoes.
Oh,
the offsides will be different when they do them now.
That might be an issue as well. Yes, you're right, Des.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm being honest, because I've been to places where
that could be an issue, Jake. If they're taking those
swollen feet, but swollen feet. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Swollen feet.
But see, here's a question, man. I'm confused by this because you and I both lived in Colombia, And obviously there's an altitude thing because I used to run the hills there because there's tons of hills and stuff when I was in Colombia just to stay in shape. And obviously you're sucking air, it's breathing a little difficult until you're used to it. But what I find interesting is I've never had altitude sickness. I've heard people talk about altitude sickness. This is the first time in my life that I've ever heard someone say, yeah, you can take Viagra for altitude sickness. What?
Even your mom's joining in.
What? Say what?
If that's how you want to show national pride, Jake's mom,
So, hey, the passport bros, when you go to any mountainous region, passport bros just say, hey, man, when you have the Viagra in your bag, you tell the immigration officer, I get altitude sickness here, and that's why I have Viagra.
I was gonna say no. I was with this World Cup when you mentioned like all these nations like Cape Verde, Paraguay. I was like, I've got a friend from Paraguay. And I always wanted to like now with the World Cup. I was like, next trip I might actually make it over there, even though it's landlocked in South America. I was like, it's between Argentina and Brazil. I might just make a little trip down because I think it's something that I haven't really explored. And I just thought with the old World Cup, and then I just thought it just piqued my interest. So I was like, okay. So but back to the thing, the English team better be ready because I've seen all these Kane and his if he doesn't have his security around, he could be getting a hood over his head, if you get what I mean.
Hey man, they'll be ready because
or some certain people might be passing notes, Nez.
Hey man, well, they'll be as Jake's mom said. Every English player will be standing strong. Pause. They'll have swords to fight everyone. Pause. Because I'm just saying that's what they'll fight everyone. Don't make them unsheath. Pause. There you go.
This is so crazy to me because isn't there like there's plenty of other like medications you could take to increase your blood flow. That's the problem, right? High altitude causes low blood pressure.
I have a theory. We could be getting a couple of hinchippy issues as well. You know what?
You are going way too far right here. You are going. We went from popping Viagra to pulling pants down. This is a PG show. This is a PG show. The hydration break. Are they gonna be popping an extra dose during the hydration
Correct,
break?
Sir. Hey man, they're trying to find a way where the dudes don't defend them as closely.
Jake, they might do it just to look more impressive. You know what I mean?
I mean, if Arsenal did this before they took the corner kicks, there'd be no issue. No one would be mad about the box because there would be no fouls. They wouldn't want to get close to.
Just hey, no, you got it.
Yeah. No one would want to get close to Raya. Imagine him jumping up in the air. You'd be like, get the hell out.
You got it.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. And see the thing about it for the England team is like, how did you ever expect to keep anything that's going on quiet? You know, this smoke screen they had with all their hotels. Oh, we booked 11 hotels in Mexico City.
Jake,
they're gonna know where you're at. Literally everyone around you is an enemy. Exactly. They're gonna tell everyone where you're at. Like
when you check into migration in any country, you have to, and you're getting your tourist or your whatever.
You have to tell them where you're going.
You have to tell them where they're going. So, do you think no security migration Mexico do not have
that guy told everybody where you were going. The first person that found out literally told everyone. Duh.
In normal circumstance, they would lose their job for that. But
no, they're a national hero. They're working for their nation. They're considered.
They'll be like, I'm slipping a note to someone. How would you know whoever leaked that information?
And the fact that England even tried baffles me. You realize the entire nation, literally, if a little child saw you checking into your hotel, he's going to go tell somebody. Everyone in the country is going to tell somebody where you're at.
In addition to that, hey, man, I'm going to go ahead and keep it honest. Most of these football players are fairly big. So you're telling me because they're not going outside anywhere ever. So there's going to be some 6 foot
No,
white dudes and black dudes just walking around. What?
Not
What?
Darkness, though. They might have families going to watch the match over there.
Their families are going. They're with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if they're in the stands,
Hey man, what does Harry Kane's wife look like? What is so and so's wife? They know.
They know. Yeah, they absolutely know.
That's my whole point.
Of course, for sure. You know, the entire nation is against these one team of 30 guys. Like,
but somebody gave them a playbook unintentionally, and England could have done this, but they didn't. Because the playbook was laid out at the beginning of this tournament, and actually it's connected to Mexico. Because all England had to do was run the exact same playbook that Iran was forced to run when they had a game in the United States. Because Iran could not show up until right before the game on the plane and went to the stadium. Iran couldn't come, and then they had to leave immediately after. The playbook, while done sort of in a malicious intent, was laid out. England, just do what Iran did.
But then they couldn't acclimate, then they couldn't do this whole strategy with their pills, and they couldn't do any of that.
But technically they kind of could, because they could have they could have based themselves in Denver or anywhere in the mountains in the United States.
They were in KC. They were already based in KC.
That's what I'm saying. Like, all you gotta do is go. So if you need altitude, hey, go to Vancouver, go to Denver, go play in the altitude. It's hot there. Now you can't simulate the pollution part, but I mean most major cities have that pollution anyway. So these guys live in London and stuff like that. They know pollution. So hey, but you can get the altitude part and then go from there.
Yeah.
I would not say that's a given. Mexico, like I was telling you, you really think a ref is gonna whistle for like a penalty or a red card without it being clear? The guy does not want to. He wants to get out of the country alive. That's all I'm saying.
Definitely gonna be tough, as it's the ultimate home game of all home games, and it certainly was a home game for the Colombians last night in Kansas City. They were at the Arrowhead, of course, but I was actually surprised that in a stadium where, Kansas City is not necessarily close to the border, and as we've seen, Miami's full, Dallas is full, if Mexico
everywhere, man.
If Mexico played in LA, it would still probably be a home game. That stadium was packed full of yellow jerseys, man.
They everywhere, dude. They travel.
Colombians came out. They were out for it, man.
They everywhere.
And then, the game was like really underwhelming.
Well, first of all, the crazy part is, tough luck on the injury at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Both guys. Substitution halftime. Hey, man, while we just court side seat prognosticate. I feel like if Colombia had done what we've talked about them doing as far as their starting lineup, they don't run into that. They don't run into that at all. If they ran the lineup we were talking about, you put James in that thing. Because, look at James. I mean, we have to really start recognizing, and Ronaldo might want to take a point of this, but, his ego is actually unmeasurable. And I'm not negative. I'm just saying, just based on
that is what it is, yeah.
And because Messi has the same thing. But James really needed to be humble in this case, because he's sitting on the sidelines looking pitiful and sad. Hey, man, well, one, if the manager was like, hey, we're going to bring you in the 70th to run, because literally they played the end of the game exactly like we called it, that there is just going to be open. If James was there then you get a different game. There's no need to start him. There was no need to start him. And again, Rios should have started too. Like, all the stuff that they were forced to put on, if they just ran that lineup from the beginning, they look better. And then you can bring your heroes on to close out the game, because there's some momentum behind it. I don't get it. And
I think Suarez should have started that game. I thought
that. 100%. None of it made sense, man.
100%.
None of it made sense.
Maybe he was trying to think ahead.
Ahead of what? This is Sparta. This is the last game, dude. There's nothing else. You win this and that's it. Like, who do they play next? I don't even know. Who do they play next?
Switzerland.
Dude. Hey, man. Switzerland's taking the game seriously. They've
been looking good.
Play the game.
Switzerland been looking good. That's not going to be an easy game at all.
No. And they defend well. Play to win at the beginning.
But the Swiss is totally. I don't know if you remember the first game when they played.
Yeah, I've watched every game. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember.
when they shit the bed in that first game.
But
don't live back there.
in the 70th minute of that game, their star man, who's become the star man of the tournament, came into the game, scored 2 goals. Mr. Manzambi, who's looking like he's about to go to Newcastle, and then he's played every minute since. And they've looked really good going forward. They looked compact defensively. Colombia are not just good. It won't be like this Ghana game.
It won't be. Yeah, exactly.
No.
It'll be.
And then if we're going to give credit to other teams about how they get better, well, Argentina lost the game and they got better. Their first game got better. Spain looked bad and they got. If everybody else can play a bad first game and get better, then this exists here too.
Well,
absolutely. I mean, this is it right here. This is it. Mr. 420 saying it right here. Everyone turns up. There you go.
There's nothing else.
No, Nez, I disagree because England was not on that trajectory. We had a good first
England
game.
are going down. They're going
We
backwards.
had a good first game. We shit the bed second game.
Because they have not embraced that this is Sparta. You have to kick people in the chest, and it don't matter if you're going into the Coliseum and there's 50 billion people against you. You say, hey, what? I'm going to point my sword in my pants at you, pause, and I'm going through here, and I don't care.
They'll be coming with the spears.
Yes, those. Pause. But yes,
as long as they're not gripping their spears like that, as you say, during the pause.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I haven't said anything about England. Am I? I hope.
Technically, we shouldn't even be talking about it. They ain't even played.
I hope I'm not. I hope they don't. Never mind. I'm not going to make any more spear jokes. Oh man, but I think Colombia definitely they did their thing. I thought that Ghana, I was actually surprised. I get it that Ghana's, I get it that Ghana, wanted to sit back, wanted to counter, but they never really looked like they. At one point in that first half, I was like, man, Ghana need to bring the second team to this game at some point today. And they conceded an early goal too. I was very surprised. I was very big up John Arias, of course. I believe he is a Wolves player. Gets the goal, and that was a great finish, by the way, too.
Yep.
Very calm finish, tucks it into the corner. Did I say England were going down?
I don't remember that. Maybe.
I think England are actually turning up. Anyway.
Yes, they are. Pause.
Anyway, yeah, I think it was a very calm finish from John Arias. It's the whole tournament is EPL versus La Liga.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, and one MLS player. Hey, no worries, SC. It's all love, SC. No worries, bro.
No. I think it's gonna be interesting. We're not, like I say. I personally think it's a 50-50 game with that Mexico English, even though it could be they have a lot of advantages, especially because it's played in their country. So I'm just gonna leave it as that.
Lumen is spot on here. Spot on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Even though the funny thing is the teams that went through that were like all took penalties. All of them took penalties. So I think it's a very important thing. Just focused on sticking with Colombia. Colombia did what they needed to do. Congratulations to the Los Cafeteros for carrying on, doing the country proud, and representing the tricolor. But it's still work to be done, and the management really has to make sure they understand. Put the best team out there. There's no more legacy is done, man. We really got to get off the legacy and start playing hey, man. This is, and I mean, I'm joking about it, but literally, the movie, is sort of life. This is a movie right now. This is every game is your last game.
Absolutely. So let's do our best to keep it PG-13. Remember, mom's in the chat. We got England badge at the World Cup. Yep. Off to Africa teams, everybody has been. Yep. Absolutely. Hats off to the African teams, of course. SC's dreaming. Fall up into the games. Yeah, we'll see. Everybody, I think everybody's starting to feel the heat too, especially in those games that are outside.
I think also because of the European know-how. When you play in the European leagues, you know how to manage games a little bit more compared to, say, when you're playing in other leagues. Because as you can see from like Arsenal, for example, when you guys, when you're ahead 1-0, things getting a bit dicey. You could see with like England, with Elliot Anderson need a corner flag, just messing around with it. There's little know-how that they were with that they use that the African teams do not have in their leagues. So, and that's when the game management comes in.
Well, I'm gonna disagree a little bit with that. I agree with the basis, but then we just talked about it at the beginning. For these African teams, a lot of those players play in Europe, so it's not a matter of them not knowing the European game. I think it's the management.
Top level.
Let me finish my thought before I forget it. And so it's I think it's connected to the management. I think the players know, but the management, I think, are kind of dropping the ball on it. So, and again, a lot of those managers who manage the African nations are not European, and so I think, connected to your point, I think that's the most accurate point. Of those managers probably are managing in a way, because they just did a tournament. They just did a tournament in AFCON, which showed they need to do it. So I think it's a matter of, and I heard this, and this is sort of a cultural thing that maybe not a cultural thing, is that there is maybe a small colonialism bias that's connected to this, as maybe they feel like they're not equal to the European-based clubs, right? Or the European teams, or the teams with European-based players, where you got, well, we're good enough to play against them, but we don't have what it takes to cross the line. And this is why Cabo Verde and other nations who've made those runs have shown, hey, just go at it. Because again, it's the timidness that comes at the end, because I think what happens is the reality of the moment sets there. I didn't mention this in the other one, but when Senegal went up, if you watched when they went up, Sadio Mane did something to the team. The camera panned on him after they went up. He was like, calm down, calm down, calm down. I actually feel like you have to do the opposite. I think you just have to keep going, because you don't know how to be calm. It's the equivalent of when I make the comments about teams when they played City, where you play up to play City, and then you get a lead, and now you don't know what to do because you have the lead. It's like the dog catching the car. Okay, we did this thing that we were trying to do. Now what do we do? And I think the thing about it is that, if I'm being honest, again, using this is Sparta thing, hey, just go until you die. Just finish it. Like, just keep going. If you can score more, score more. If you concede because you were going for it, I prefer to lose a game because I was going for it than I sat back and became timid. Go out in the blaze of glory. Hey, make sure your pole is standing high, so when your flag is planted in the ground and everyone's saluting you, yes, that's right. All the pauses there. When they're saluting you, you know that you stood for something. All the jokes and the pauses, y'all got it.
I just want to, I'm not going to even, I've made all my jokes, but geographically, yes, Morocco is in the African continent. Mr. F20 UK.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Ghana I think they were a little bit timid. I think that they, especially after they got scored on, like, come out, try to win, try to get another one back. Don't be worried about giving up another goal. I thought that, even though Semenyo seemed a little bit isolated in a couple of these games, I thought he was okay. But use your guys, get the guys that are the stars on the team the ball and let them cook. You know what I mean? I just thought Ghana were a little bit disappointing in my opinion. Even the coach afterwards said he was disappointed with.
No, Jake, this is what's happened. It was the shaman that the Colombians employed to counteract the witch doctors. That's what happened, and that's why they got lucky. There you go. Hey,
real quick, to support Mom's point, yeah, that you're right, Mom. Be a hero, take the shot. But I want to go back to compare to the Dubai Africa one. They need more investment. This is something that has long existed in the African continent. In terms of that, like the investment there in the African continent, most things are extracted. And it's important to invest there. But then I want to the question about Morocco being in Africa. The other thing that I think is super important, and this is connected again to colonialism, and again this is just the culture thing that we covered, but it connects to football because sport connects to life. There's been the question of should Morocco move into UEFA and to play in Europe, but it's the question about Egypt as well. Those countries are literally on the African continent. Like they can't be more on the African continent than they are.
Right?
They've represented themselves well. They've won there. Okay, maybe there's a different European influence because of where they are, and there's a giant desert in between. But the thing is those countries recognize themselves as African, even though yes, there's an Arabic influence there, more Arabic than European. So if you're going to move them, they should be moved to Asia if we're going to move anybody anywhere, right? And Egypt, the whole Northern Africa would dominate Asia, right? I mean, Asia probably would want it more so than Europe. And so I look at that and say, this is where we allow culture stuff to move in the way of, that would be the equivalent of saying, you know what, well, Texas don't really function like the rest of the United States. Should it be a part of the United States? Hey, man, it's a part of the United States, just like California is, just like Florida is. Hey, man, they're a part of it. Stop it. Yes, what it does is it sows infighting. It creates enough of the discourse where now you're creating a mental thing where maybe I shouldn't. No, you're a part of this. Be a part of it. Represent and be what you are. Take pride. You are what you are. So, yes, Morocco is African. Algeria is African. Egypt is African. All of northern Libya, all of northern Africa is African.
Yeah, they're all in the Sahara Desert, which is Africa. Anyway, segues are just really, really weird. Morocco versus Canada today. Spicy one. Of course, Morocco, the favorites. They've certainly impressed in this tournament, as we knew they would. Of course, they are a very, very strong side, and I fear for Canada today.
I think
big favorites Morocco.
Yeah, I think the Moroccans will go through just with the quality that they have. I thought the way they played, the defense is really good. I think that's not a lot of people have actually spoken about the defense, but I think it's they've snuffed people out. Like even against the Brazilians, I think there was just one moment of brilliance from Winnie, and that's it. Apart from that, they snuffed them out. And I thought Aboudi for one of you guys are trying to gazump us for Aboudi as well. So I think I think their team, I think he's going to have a bit more know-how than Canada. I think they've just, a lot of them play, as you know, a lot of them play in the European leagues. Saibiri, Hakimi, I think just that level is a little bit cut above Canada, and no offense to the Canadians. But I think they'll just have a bit too much for them.
Unfortunately, I think go ahead, Ness.
I mean, this game is being played in Houston inside.
Yep.
It lends itself to Morocco can just beat themselves. I'm being very honest when I say this. Canada has, and it's going to sound crazy what I'm going to say, they've overachieved while underachieving. They've absolutely overachieved. They've made progress, so credit to them for the progress. But in that progress, you're like, man, you could have really been better than what you are. Like, you really could have been better than what you are. I think, and Morocco is in this tournament and previous other tournaments, Morocco literally shows the very much this is Sparta mentality. I mean, they're kind of they colored the same and all that. If we're going to use the movie, they beat teams. They beat it. They're not going to be like they're going to. And I'm calling it. It's very seldom. I think they walk them. I think they go in and walk them. I think Morocco has something to prove because there's two things Morocco has. One, they made a great run in the last World Cup. They've been great in every tournament they've been in the last since that World Cup. And these guys have champions on their team, and they believe they should be winners. And the thing that really, really, really matters to them is they understand that there's still a stain on them from AFCON and how that went down. They're literally playing to prove something. I think Canada gets walked today. I think they get walked.
I do as well. I think this game actually, I think what needs to happen if Canada have any shot, and it's kind of like my opinion of when you play against Man City. You know, Man City aren't perfect, Morocco aren't perfect, and Canada's best attributes, let's be honest here, are not defending. It's not sitting back and defending. So for me, I absolutely agree 100% with your kind of theme this morning, Nez, is that Canada need to go hell for leather. Damn the torpedoes. Go score 2 or 3 goals because you're conceding. You're going to concede for sure today. So
go blue pill it. Let's go. Just blue pill it. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about Jamie Vardy chugging Red Bulls before the game, balls to the wall. You got to send it, because if Canada try to sit back versus Morocco and just let Morocco have their way, it's just not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it for 100 minutes. You just won't. And so, in my opinion, Canada need to come out as fast. I was gonna say something. I'm gonna pull that back. As fast as they can.
Stamina with the blue pills.
As fast and as strong as they can, not as something else I was going to say, to have it
right.
That's what I didn't want to say. Anyway, that's how they need to come out and see. This is just what have England done to us? What have England done? It's a Steve's fault.
It's a Steve's fault.
I was just pointing out a scientific principle that they were going to use.
You are correct, sir. I think that matters.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Hey, Rob, can I go back real quick? So
the Canada game's in Houston, isn't it?
Yes, in Houston.
Yeah.
It's in Houston.
Yeah.
Because Canada dropped the ball and should have been playing in Vancouver, but they're not because they dropped the ball. But real quick, Lumen said something about the Arab nations that they have acted superior to Africa. They do that. But I'm going to use this as an example because Europe exists like this too. And people kind of like try to cover it and it doesn't exist. The Balkans and Eastern Europe has always been seen as lesser than Western Europe. They literally call it Western Europe, Western European. But this is why the Russians feel a way about the Europeans, because part of Russia, a big part of Russia is in Europe. And the Balkan nations, that Turkey, parts of Turkey is there, right? So let's not pretend that every continent doesn't run into that. But you don't hear about Bosnia-Herzegovina saying, hey, man, I don't want to be in Europe. The Russians, I don't want to be in Europe. You don't hear any of that. And there's a clear superiority that the French, the English, the Spanish, the Germans hold over Eastern Europe. So these things exist in the American continent. We're not going to pretend like the Americans don't think a certain way about the Mexicans and the Salvadorians and everybody from Central America. So we're not going to pretend. We're not going to say that the Argentines don't feel a certain way about the rest of the continent in South America. The South Africans feel a certain way. They're dealing with something right now. Well, I was a history teacher, so. And political science too, but like the South Africans feel away. The South Africans are currently kicking other Africans out. So, I mean, we have to understand that everybody does it in Asia. You want to pick Asia? We got it too. So let's not allow all of a sudden like external narratives control this. Hey, man, the Moroccans are Africans. They're playing the Canadians, which are North American, and they might get washed today.
Yeah, I fear for him, honestly. But it is Jesse Marsh's style to kind of go at him, to kind of really go at it. So it could be if they are not scared, if they don't play scared, and try to like contain, little man. If they don't try to contain, if they don't sit back and they actually try to go at it, I think that's their only option. I don't think trying to defend it Morocco will just pass them to death and it'll be a 2-3-0. But if they do go at it, if they do, do what I think they should, This could be a really fun one, just like last night, 3-2.
Hey, man,
something
show
like
up,
that.
man. Just show up and play, man.
Absolutely.
Because
Send
hey,
it.
I'm keeping it 1,000% with you. The next team is probably playing France, so you better get your game out now. Get it out now. Play the best you can because Les Bleus is coming for you. And I'm going with the solid thing where we're not skipping people, but I mean, maybe Paraguay, we'll talk about that in a second. Maybe Paraguay shows up and stuff. They like, hey, we got the same flag. We just turned sideways.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I keep having, you know what, I'm not going to say it this time because Nez, your segues are killing it today. You're crushing it. Even Mr. 420 is glazing Nez here because, you know, he deserves it. He's an, what a guy. What a guy.
I like learning.
What a guy,
I like
he
learning.
says.
Because I just learned about altitude can take Viagra. And I'm making a trip to Colombia at some point in time. Me to see if you know what it is. So maybe I need to get some, hey man, for altitude sickness.
We just can't escape it. We can't escape it on this episode. It's just no escaping it. And there's definitely
man,
no
Bogotà's really high in the air, man.
If that's your excuse, Des, you go for it, man.
It's really high. It's really high.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Smash Tekka, says Mr. 420.
Yeah, smash in another sense.
Oh my God.
You got it. You got it. Go ahead, man. You got it. You got it.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, we know no one expects the French to need any little blue pills versus Paraguay today. Do we give Paraguay any hope at all?
Of course. Because, you know, they got to go in the sort. Hey, they got Miggy Almiron. He don't care. He does stupid stuff all the time. So I expect stupid stuff from everybody.
Nah,
but, hey, just like the Les Blues pills, the Les Blues.
It's inescapable. It's in it. Look what England have done to this tournament. Everybody's turning up.
But jokingly, really quickly, Mbappe saw what Messi did. He said, "Oh, gauntlet down. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go."
No, I
sure.
think France will win by at least by a goal or two, by two at least, I think. So.
Yeah. One thing that we've seen from some of the bigger nations versus the smaller nations, is a little bit of arrogance, like we mentioned for Argentina. I think Germany was arrogant versus Paraguay. One thing we have not seen that from the French. The France have not
want to beat you in the face. They don't care.
They have not taken anyone lightly. Maybe the very first half of the tournament for them in that first game. But ever since then, they moved Elise into the middle. And ever since then, it's just been lights out. Amidst all the records that are being smashed this tournament, Mbappe, I think maybe even in this tournament.
Jake, but okay, go.
As I said, maybe even Mbappe in this tournament will overtake Messi's goal record, very possibly, But Michael Elise is on track to break the single tournament assist record.
Hey, I got to shout for the fact, I don't know if they do codes, but if France is able to make the run, and because I live in reality, right? Anything can happen. And Mbappe and Elise continue on the path they do. I got to shout for Michael Elise getting the golden ball, man.
He's absolutely crushing it, dude. I'm just like
top scorer Mbappe or Messi.
My thing is
hopefully Mbappe.
My thing is what I really think would be scary for the Champions League is if Olvin's company looks at this and says, because Jamal Musiala has not really, I know he's had that terrible injury. He's not really shown up for Germany. He hasn't had the best of seasons at Bayern. Again, because of injury, I think Jamal Musiala is a fantastic player. But if next season we see Michael Elise underneath Harry Kane,
ridiculous. Yeah.
What talking about?
If we see Elise underneath Harry Kane with with Lucho on the left and maybe Saibari now on the right because they bought Saibari.
Just stick anyone over there.
Dude, dude, this guy. I mean, this guy's levels, dude. Elise is just stupid good. And he makes it look so easy. Like he's at least just strolling around out there, you know, and he's like, oh, Mbappe is going to bring the intensity. Here you go. Have that. Here's another assist. Here you go. Have that. Here's another assist.
Here's the fact why Elise is so amazing. And respectfully, I'm a kind of take it, you know, a small poke at Shirky. Elise is what Shirky wants to be.
Absolutely.
He's what he wants to be. And the thing is that Olise, he only cares about winning. And the funny thing is, national team Mbappe, because they like to call him the dictator, well, he's absolutely Napoleon because he's taken France and he's taken over. And he's like, hey, I'm dragging my people through. And yeah, I'm the general, but you know what? My colonels and lieutenants are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Because, hey, you got a Ballon d'Or winner right there that says, hey, man, I'm challenging you, General. You got to raise the levels here. And then he did it. Oh, Dembele said to, and he ain't said it to him directly, but he said it in the media. And we knew who he was talking to. Hey, man, you got to play both sides of the ball. You got to track back. I won the Ballon d'Or. Mbappe turned the levels up. So Mbappe got Messi that's in his targets, and he got his own teammate saying, hey, man, raise it up because you can get that guy. You can be better than him. And you know what's scary? I think he can.
That's what's terrifying about France. That's what's absolutely terrifying about France is that, you know, the spotlight's on Mbappe, the spotlight's on the dictator, as you say, but the other guys are like, dude, they're like, yeah, we're on a team here, but also I'm that guy as well, which is freaking crazy. Definitely appreciate that, Mr. 420. We certainly appreciate that. And I have been asked to do some watch-alongs, so we might get one in. We haven't done one yet, but we might get one in.
Now, which one would we do? Really, I mean, since this is which would be the one? Like, I don't know what would be the one.
I mean, Portugal, Spain seems like a good one. I'm never going to be able to do a USA, Belgium watch-along.
I don't do watch-alongs for teams I support.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it. Maybe Mexico, England. That could be lot of jokes. That could be lots of jokes. But I agree with this.
Norway looks like that's going to be a game.
That should be fun. I agree with this, though. I agree with this. You know, the whole dictator thing is whatever. It doesn't matter to me.
But he is. Not only is he R9, he has a great trajectory because R9 had a thing. You know, he didn't go all the way. Mbappe has the nutrition and the systems and all of that stuff. And he's at Madrid. He's not going anywhere. And I'm going to say this now as a City fan, and I haven't talked much club at all. One shout out to Nathan Ake getting his move support to him. Enjoy yourself. But, hey, man, Madrid going to be tough next year, man. Because even though you like, okay, you know, you got Jose there, and, you know, it's defensive ball. You got defensive ball with Vinny, Mbappe, and
bro, they signed Denzel Dumfries.
Yeah.
They've got the wing backs. They've got the attacking guys on, dude. It's Madrid are going to be.
Jose is going to be a problem next year.
Yeah, absolutely will.
Mbappe
and if you can believe anything Perez says, if they scoop Elise,
I'm saying this now. And I'm a City supporter, and I want my team, and I think my team is good enough to win. But do not be shocked if Real Madrid win the Champions League next year, because that's the only reason they brought Jose in. That's it.
Well, I think.
Hey, man, take the Arsenal hat off and look at the team.
I think somebody might have something to say about that.
No, do better than that. Look at the team. Come on now, because PSG is there, but like, hey, man, Jose's building something.
Dude, yeah, I mean, I agree with this, Charles, because if Madrid sign Elise and you take that
we don't care. I think that they're good enough to win, but we don't care.
Sheesh. You know, but I definitely think that I don't necessarily think that Paraguay are just going to be filling in the other side of the field. You know, I think they're definitely going to play. They're going to play. They're going to bring it. But I do think they're going to do exactly what they did versus Germany. and sit back and try to contain. But I just,
if you try to sit back against France, you're going to get slaughtered.
Well,
but if you try to come out versus France, and you give them space, it's going to be even worse. So I don't even know what to do.
What do you do? I just thought about it. It's the 4th of July. It's American Independence Day, 250 years. And I remember the United States doesn't get their independence without the French. The French going to be like, hey, man, we here. Where they playing at? They playing in Philly. We here in Philly.
They're in Philadelphia.
We're here in Philly, and we support the Americans doing what they did. So we gonna beat Paraguay like the United States beat Paraguay. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna beat them just like that.
I fear it could be worse, to be honest.
It's funny because every game has been so far been competitive. I think today is the first day that I don't think we get competitive games.
Yeah, I kind of have the same feeling.
Well, I don't think either one is competitive today.
Absolutely, man. But yeah. And another thing that, is obviously, kind of in the back of everybody's mind when it comes to all these records is that, yes, Messi's the GOAT. Yes, he's got tons of World Cup goals, and he'll probably get a couple of more in this tournament. Mbappe's got 3 more tournaments in him. He will obliterate that goal record. He's going to obliterate that goal record. And I don't think anyone's getting close. He's going to put up 30. He's going to put up 35 to 40 World Cup goals, and I don't see that ever getting touched.
His World Cup goal scoring record will be the equivalent of what Ronaldo has done for goal scoring, because once he hits 1,000, no one's ever catching that, and what Messi has done for assists, because Messi has an assist number that no one's catching. There's literally things that you have to be God tier to catch any of that.
Yeah, you're not. I definitely think Mbappe, unless something ridiculous happens in the next generation and we get another freak alien like we've seen and that we've been blessed to see from like the likes of Ronaldo and Messi, of course, no one's catching this record. Mbappe is going to obliterate it.
But this is also why I stand so 10 toes down on we really got to get rid of this whole holding on to nostalgia and stuff of the past. The next generation is always bringing something new, because even though Ronaldo and Messi and Luka and all those guys are going away, Mbappe and Haaland and Olise, like these guys are the next ones, and they're dead smack in the middle of their prime.
And they all play for the same team. What the hell?
With greater nutrition, training, and all of that. They're absolutely levels. And then to Aussies' point earlier, and to the blue pill, hey man, Cape Verde about to have a whole new generations of footballers in 18 years. England probably, if England brings it home, England for sure is going to have their island is going to triple the population because they're having twins, because that'll be for 2 trophies. So then you go from there. It's just, and don't let the United States win it, because you think 300 million.
You don't want us to win.
It'll be easily 600 million in 9 months. Just go from there.
I'm telling you right now, if the USA win the World Cup, you thought Arsenal winning the Champions League would be bad. Bro, the world ain't ready.
We'd be worse.
The world ain't ready. The world is not ready for that.
We'd be worse.
Not at all, bro. Unfortunately, Charles, no, we don't really think the Maple Leafs have much of a shot today.
They got syrup. That's all. They got
some syrup. And so maybe they can make the situation a bit sticky, but I doubt it will be. And yeah, I think on that note.
Hey, real quick before you go, so there was a mention of a watch along. Hey, because we talking about like, comment, and subscribe right here. Hey man, how about the people in the chats say what they want us to watch along? And then we can get some engagement, and then phone a friend or text a friend or share with a friend. And then it's, hey, we jump in there, we go in the comments, we talk to you. Now, I can't promise it'll be blue pill hard, but we still gonna have fun. Hey, we fill all the empty spaces, we filling them all. If we win the World Cup, the desert, what desert? It's gonna be full of people.
Yeah, I think on that note, we will sign off. Of course, make sure you're liking, subscribing, sharing, notification bells, all of that. Happy birthday for the 250th time to the US of A. Of course, it's going to be some fun stuff today, and we will be back before you know it. Big up the chat, big everyone that's been here. We are certainly grateful, and you. We'll see us next time.